Now at 9, Congress is drafting a deal to prevent a government shutdown. See what they are planning.
And how one Ball State faculty member spends his happy little moments.
And more about 6 Ball State gymnasts receiving some high honors.
An iconic movie prop has found its way back home.
Pleasant weather today, but will we hold on to that? And when we'll have some 60s? All that and more in my full forecast. NewsLink Indiana starts right now.
Local news about local people, live from Ball State Unified Media. You're watching NewsLink Indiana.
Good evening, and thanks for being with us. I'm Abby Urban.
And I'm Kamara Munn.
Congressional leaders formally announced a deal today to keep the rest of the government funded throughout the fiscal year. House Speaker Mike Johnson said the House and Senate committees have started drafting the text of the bill. Johnson said the text would be released and considered by all of the House and Senate as soon as it is ready. Congress has until the end of the day Friday to pass the deal. Funding for the Department of Homeland Security has been a major obstacle in negotiations.
Heading down south, the Supreme Court has cleared the way to begin enforcing a controversial immigration law in Texas. That law, known as SB 4, allows Texas officials to arrest and detain people they suspect entering the state illegally. Critics point to racial profiling problems with the state law in a state where 40% of the population is Latino. The Supreme Court's decision is not the same as a precedent-setting case decision. Rather, it wiped away a temporary stay Justice Samuel Alito issued Monday. Today's decision only allows enforcement of the law while legal challenges to it continue in a lower federal appeals court.
And in Chicago, migrants are facing threats of eviction from their shelter. But backlash has sparked a number of protests throughout the city.
Outside of West Town's migrant shelter this morning, there was talk of those who were shown the door today and concern about who might be next. The city of Chicago enacted a 60-day maximum shelter stay policy after months of delays. Designed to open up shelter space for new arrivals, the new policy will see 250 migrants evicted by the end of March, over 2,000 by the end of April. But not everyone in city government agrees that this is the way to go.
I don't believe the city should be in the business of evicting people, especially those that need shelter, those who don't have work authorization, haven't gotten rental assistance.
Exempt from eviction, at least for now, are families with children who will be able to request up to 3 30-day extensions. Those with certain medical conditions or recent exposure to measles will also be allowed to request an extension.
Even though families with kids can have an extension until school breaks out, what happens after school breaks out? Now those families are going to be out homeless.
Those who've spent nearly a year volunteering with migrants on a near daily basis agree.
In order for them to pay for the housing, they would need a job. I hate to see them, set them up to fail. Unfortunately, they're still in the process of getting, situated.
Meanwhile, a group of Gage Park residents gathered outside the field house turned shelter this afternoon to protest the existence of the shelter altogether, which has seen services previously offered here relocated.
It seems like it's indefinite. We don't know when we're ever coming back. We're not getting any answers. My daughter was a participant in the special recreation program, and she got relocated to McKinley Park, and she was at the park for 14 years before the program was relocated.
And now we're going to take a look at our first weather with Ryan.
Quite a tough story, not so much our weather though. Clear skies all around our area, and even backing out, you can really see high pressure really ruling the roost here. We're definitely introducing some winds to the picture. At least they slacken off tonight, but it's going to be on the cool side. Take a look at those temperatures dropping down into the 30s. And with the wind, it might even feel cooler than that. That's holding up for tomorrow, so breezy again. But as the first day of spring is today, what are we expecting tomorrow? And where's the warmth? All that in my forecast. Abby, Kamara, back to you at the desk.
The Biden administration is warning state leaders about cyber attacks targeting municipal water systems. The White House and Environmental Protection Agency issued a warning today saying state governments and water facilities must improve their defenses against the threat. Officials say, quote, even basic cybersecurity precautions are not in place at water facilities. The Biden officials invited state homeland security and environmental officials to a meeting to discuss the needed improvements in cybersecurity. The U.S. water sector spans 150,000 public water systems. Local leaders have often struggled to find the cash and personnel to deal with threats from hackers.
A lawsuit against multiple social media platforms stemming from a racially motivated mass shooting in Buffalo, New York will move forward. On Monday, a judge denied a motion to dismiss a lawsuit against the platforms, which includes Instagram, Reddit, and others. The civil suit was filed by the families of those killed in the mass shooting at Tops Supermarket in 2022. The lawsuit alleges hateful and extremist content on the sites contributed to the radicalization of the gunmen, and the companies profit from having their material on their platforms. Attorneys for social media companies argue they only provide a platform for third-party content and thus are not liable. However, the judge found third-party content could be considered a product. That means the companies could be held liable under the state's consumer protection laws. And coming up, finding his creative passion, how one Ball State faculty member spends his happy little moments.
And there's no place like home for one special pair of shoes. See which beloved prop finally returned to its rightful owner after the break.
Dear moms and dads, what you have achieved here today is going to help us and our futures. It is why we are coming up on stage to collect your diplomas.
You know it's true.
Mom, we love you always.
Everything I do
When you graduate, they graduate. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too
Sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
Eva Marie smoked 12,000 packs of cigarettes over 15 years. She quit, and now there's a new lung cancer screening that could save her life. You stopped smoking. Now start screening. No matter how much you smoked, early detection could save you. Talk to your doctor or learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Man, it's lonely. Like, going through life lonely.
There is the therapeutic aspect of music, just expressing how you feel. I'm going to talk to Howie about his feelings, make it into a song.
Welcome back. The SportsLink program here at Ball State is known for their award-winning work in sports production across the country. But the leader of that program, Chris Taylor, found his spark in a joyful and interesting way.
Teaching and creativity have been two of the biggest elements at play in the life of Chris Taylor, director of SportsLink here at Ball State. And over the years, Taylor has found joy in the happy little moments.
The favorite part of what I do here at Ball State is when you see a student connect, or the light goes off, or they've created something they're really proud of, and you've had a small hand in that.
And Taylor's students aren't only influenced by his instruction, but the other element in his life too.
So we'll be ready for it.
CT's definitely played a large role in influencing me on my creative side of storytelling and just the ability to tell stories. He's probably one of the most creative people I know, and he has that niche for knowing how to.
But those elements don't just come together to create something magnificent at SportsLink. They also assemble in a place one may not expect.
Not many people probably know that outside of Ball State that maybe I do have a life and I do something different, and that's being a certified Bob Ross painting instructor.
And Taylor's own joy of painting didn't come from out of the blue.
I had the opportunity to meet Bob personally. I'll never forget that encounter, how genuine he was, how encouraging he was. But it never really hit me until many years later after he passed, how special that relationship actually was.
The two remained friends for the rest of Ross's life. But those two big elements of Taylor's life teaching, and creativity that were elevated by the late artist have extended beyond the canvas.
I often reference in my classes, like, you're starting with a blank canvas. And I feel like I can come back and put some authority behind that when I say, as a landscape artist, I'm starting with a blank canvas, and it's all in my mind and how I want to be creative to create something on the canvas. Much like storytelling and production and cinematography, like there really are no limits. How creative can you be, and how can you think about you're going to fill your canvas?
And Taylor hopes to continue that legacy in both areas of his world until the blank canvas of his own life has its finishing touches.
It's kind of like my way to continue his legacy. Not many people who are painting or who are certified Ross instructors actually knew Bob. I think I have that special connection, and I feel like the responsibility to carry that on. It's challenging to try to do both, but it's fun. And the thing is, like, I've never ever really felt like either is a job.
Not a job, but a joy. A joy of teaching and a joy of creativity. In Muncie, Andy Newman, NewsLink, Indiana.
If you would like to take a class with Chris Taylor, you can head to his website, christaylorartist.com.
And in Philadelphia, a United States military veteran has received the highest honor from the French government. Today, World War II veteran Corporal Benjamin Barry was acknowledged for his courage, honor, and devotion during the war. Barry earned the highest distinction from the country of France, who bestowed him with the French Legion of Honor. This veteran and father started serving in 1943 when he was drafted into the segregated U.S. Army. During that time, black soldiers were assigned to provide resources to white soldiers. Today's honor was presented by the Consul General of France. Barry joked that he does not need any more honors or his head won't fit into his hat.
There's no place like home for a legendary pair of ruby red slippers. The iconic shoes worn by Judy Garland in the classic film The Wizard of Oz were finally returned to their owner, Michael Shaw. The sparkly shoes, worth roughly $3.5 million, were stolen from Garland's namesake museum in Grand Rapids, Michigan in 2005. Two men have since been charged with stealing the shoes, which Shaw had loaned to the museum at the time of the theft. The shoes were recovered in 2018. And on Monday, the FBI released photos of them being returned to Shaw, who says the shoes will embark on a worldwide tour before being auctioned off later this year. The Judy Garland Museum says it will try to purchase the shoes so they're in a place that honors Garland's legacy.
There's no place like home, but there's no place like spring beginning at 11:06 tonight. Well, will we see spring-like weather return to our area? All that in my full forecast after the break.
As a dad, every day is a challenge. To make sure that the time that I have, I spend with them. It doesn't matter how tired you are, you have to try and to teach them. When they learn something new, and you can just see in their faces, it's such an incredible moment. It's those moments that are my favorite.
Oh man, I can't believe I'm missing this. Okay, Grandma. I see you.
Don't get stuck at home with the flu. A flu shot is the best way to prevent the flu and its potentially serious complications. It keeps you, your community, and loved ones protected. Don't get flu FOMO. Learn more at getmyflushot.org.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. What about those barbecues you plan in detail for your family? Or your daughter's first costume party? It was out of this world. The same way you plan each detail for those moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
Can't believe you're doing this alone. I've done it before. I remember. You threw your back out. How you holding up?
Hand me that board.
Nothing wrong with getting help.
I'm good.
I did it when Felicia left.
I'll figure it out.
I know you will, but you don't have to do it alone. That's all I'm saying.
If I promise to look into it, will you drop it and help me build this fence?
Now you need my help.
You can be a real pain sometimes, you know that?
Mm-hmm.
If you or a veteran you know needs support, don't wait. Reach out. Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Welcome back. With the windy weather we've experienced today, can you believe it's already spring? Last week, our clock sprang forward for daylight savings, and today, Mother Nature springs forward with a change of seasons. The first day of astronomical spring falls on a different date every year. It occurs on the vernal equinox, when the amount of daylight is roughly 12 hours long. This is the earliest in March the equinox has fallen since 1896.
Well, hello there, and look at that warm weather behind me for this time of year, for this time of night. Look at that 50 in Champaign. Goodness gracious. Great for this time of year and much better than last night. If you were to take a look at our satellite and radar, you'll see why. It is clear as a bell as far as the eye can see down I-70 or I-80, depending on what thoroughfare you love to take. But off to our east, you can actually see some of that weather that we saw yesterday, folks. We had some pretty nasty, windy, snowy conditions. As a matter of fact, it was almost kind of squally driving from Winchester while covering the recovery efforts. That's why I'm wearing this gold tie and white shirt, because those are the colors of Winchester High School. So a shout out to all of you as you continue to work on that hard work to get back up on your feet. There has been a lot of terrible damage out there, folks, so keep them in your hearts. This wind, definitely lighter side right now. We were pretty gusty at times, 15 to 25 miles per hour sustained, gusting to 40 miles an hour at times. As you can see, it's slackened off, but we're gonna hold on to that throughout tomorrow. More on that later, but here's how we've gone through the last 5 days. You can see that 35 glaring right at you on Monday. We were at 63 on Saturday. When are we going to get those back? I've got more on that later as well. But 54, not bad for a high today. Clouds, not going to be much of them. We've got a system to watch that will cool things down and freshen up those breezes out of the northwest. Starting tonight with that low of 34, winds 10 miles an hour, already gusting to 20, but those will continue to pick up after sunrise. And look at that 42. Honestly, don't take that at face value, because when you factor in the wind, bundle up. 30 mile per hour gusts, folks, will make that feel more like 35, just like Monday. Ugh. But take a look at that jet stream, that river of air that separates the colder polar air up to our north and the warmer, more tropical air. You see that kind of rises up. And we do have, here's that another weather feature we can talk about for later on next week, a big trough of low pressure, which could influence our area with another threat of storms. But right now, let's talk about those beautiful conditions. 50s coming back towards the weekend. We do have a little hiccup with the system, just a little bit of evening showers, but then as we work our way towards Tuesday, look at that 57, 60 by Monday. So definitely, folks, much nicer weather, especially for those recovery efforts. I gotta tell you, windy weather is kind of nasty when you add that to the 42 degrees, yeah?
Yeah, it was pretty chilly outside today, but the sun did come in and warm us up a little bit.
Oh, that was beautiful today. I can vouch for that big time.
I mean, it was definitely just warm weather. It was just definitely something I look forward to. I love a good warm weather. I love just being outside, especially when I have to walk to campus with my getting ready to come here. So it definitely was nice. But
yeah, and I like wearing a light jacket. I don't really like wearing a heavier jacket in the cold walking to class. It can be a little struggle.
But thank you so much. And over to San Luis.
7 Ball State athletes earned individual hardware, and March Madness has just started. You can win even if your bracket busts. All this next in sports.
It's something about having that piece of paper. Some people think that's worth more than my skills.
I've run this place for 20 years, but I still need to prove that I'm more than what you see on paper.
Gotta be so good they can't ignore you.
It's the way my mind works. I have a very mechanical brain.
Analytics and empathy. That's how I've gained clients.
I am more.
I'm more
than who I am on paper.
When I was growing up, my mom was extremely tidy. We were trained to put things back where we got them from. One day, when I walked into my mom's house, I felt like I walked to someone else's house. There was stuff everywhere. And just growing up the way I grew up and to see this transition was very alarming.
When Sean talked to me, it was a wake-up call, and that's when I went to the doctor.
¿Qué color? Perfecto, mijo. Gracias. Thank you. What's wrong, mijo?
Donating to a pet's medical care is one of the many ways you can help families in your community. Pets and people belong together. Learn more at petsandpeopletogether.org.
At night, NewsLink Indiana brings you the news before you go to bed.
But Friday mornings, you're waking up with Cardinal Weather, bringing you up to speed on the day's top stories.
And giving you up-to-the-minute conditions from the Ball State Weather Center.
And of course, lots of fun.
I gave mine personality. Look, it's got eyebrows.
Ooh, my lucky glove didn't even work.
But I also am excited for those fall temperatures.
Start your Friday mornings with Cardinal Weather, live on the Cardinal Weather Facebook page.
Welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. I'm Xander Woods with sports. Ball State Gymnastics ends their regular season the way they started, by breaking records. The Cardinals soar above expectations in the all-MAC teams with 6 athletes receiving honors. Senior Suki Pfister and freshman athlete Szymanski land at the top with Pfister's 3rd straight first-team all-MAC and Szymanski's 1st. Seniors Victoria Henry and Hannah Rutterberg grasp 2nd-team all-MAC along with sophomore Zoe Middleton and graduate student Megan Teeter. The Cards now look to the Mid-American Conference Championships inside Worthern Arena this Saturday. Action is set to begin at 2 p.m. To stay in Worthern, men's basketball Bashir Jihad takes home extra hardware after the season. The National Association of Basketball Coaches announcing that the junior forward has paved his way onto first-team All-District for District 14. Jihad averaged 18.6 points and 8 rebounds per game and looks to continue his breakout into his senior year. Let the madness begin. The NCAA college basketball tournament brackets are about to kick off, and it's not just the men's games that will bring in big audiences and big distractions this year. Karen Kafa learns about how the games could actually be a good thing for the workplace this year.
Get ready for a lot of college hoops.
The game has gotten so good. The players have gotten so good. The storylines have gotten so good. The coaches are amazing.
Meredith Geisler, visiting assistant professor of sport management at the George Washington University School of Business, is talking about NCAA women's basketball. She says it's all driving more interest than ever in the women's road to the Final Four.
It's all converged to make it so that women's college basketball and ultimately probably the WNBA as well has really emerged as a product that people want to see.
That means for even more exciting games that can distract workers. Every March, outplacement firm Challenger Gray and Christmas crunches the numbers on workplace productivity lost to games and brackets. Their 2024 estimate, $9.6 billion.
Whether they're researching and filling out brackets, they're organizing pools in their office, or they're actually live streaming those games during the workday, people are going to be doing a lot of not work over the next few weeks.
But Andy Challenger says the tournaments could also reap benefits for employers who have struggled with team building in an era of hybrid and remote work.
There's all sorts of ways you can get people engaged, and it's a really fun and easy way to engender a lot of camaraderie and morale.
In Washington, I'm Karen Kafa.
TGI Fridays is offering a consolation prize for college basketball fans with losing March Madness brackets. It's 6 boneless wings, but you do have to buy something to get the freebie and show off your busted bracket. The giveaway starts today and runs through April 8th.
Now, I don't usually make brackets, but I will this year because I will be getting free wings.
I definitely only pick off of mascots and colors, so something's got to be busted about that bracket. So,
not everybody's a basketball expert, so in a way, I might want to incentivize my bracket to be just as busted so I can get more wins.
Well, thank you so much, Xander.
Oh, for sure.
After the break, Sonic and Chick-fil-A are both testing the waters with the new menu. We've got your anchor picks.
Attacks against Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders are on the rise.
My simple solution to the problem was remove people from the scene and help them feel safer. In terms of the hate crimes, I think there is so much more work to be done. We really need to come together and tackle this issue as a community.
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. Two milligrams of fentanyl can be lethal. A lethal dose is in here. Who gets it, I won't know.
It's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable.
The sad reality is fentanyl is being mixed into everything now.
More kids should know.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome back. Sonic wants to help you celebrate next month's eclipse, even if you aren't in the path of totality. The fast food restaurant is launching a limited edition drink called the Blackout Slush Float. Its black color celebrates darkness from the eclipse, but what does the celestial event taste like? Well, Sonic drew inspiration from the Big Top and Tropics. It's described as cotton candy and dragon fruit. The beverage is topped with white soft serve and blue and purple galaxy-themed sprinkles.
And Chick-fil-A is spreading its wings by testing a few new items for its customers. The chain's kitchen brand Little Blue menu is serving 5 new pizzas and a variation of calzone called the Pepperoni Pizza Round. These pies made their debut this week at the Little Blue Menu location in College Park, Maryland. The Little Blue Menu got its name from the first diner owned by Chick-fil-A founder Truett Cathy. According to Chick-fil-A's website, Cathy would test new meals at this diner, and once approved, they were then listed on the Little Blue Menu. That diner is where Cathy would eventually create his legendary Chick-fil-A sandwich.
You know, Kamara, I'm actually kind of excited for those new menu items.
I am too. It's something new, and it sounds pretty tasty to me.
Pizza.
Yeah,
But you know what I'm also
that's
excited
my
about,
favorite.
Ryan? Next week's weather. What are we looking at?
Are you ready for a tasty forecast? Well, after a hiccup, of course, Wednesday and Thursday, kind of chilly. Look at those lows, actually, 34 and 22, oof. But the 60, I'm telling you, next Monday, before our next weather maker, we will have to keep our eye for some thunderstorms middle of the week. Might be strong. We're going to keep our eye on that weather pattern. It does look interesting, but we'll keep you ahead of it. Stick with us on our Twitter, Facebook, and Insta. We'll have that all settled. 60 degrees, much better than 42, I got to tell you. Much tasty like that pizza.
Well, thank you so much, Ryan. That's all tonight for NewsLink Indiana. Be sure to tune in tomorrow night at 9, streaming live on the NewsLink Indiana Facebook page.
And for news anytime, anywhere, just go to ballstatedaily.com. Have a great night and stay safe.